Every day, 10 million pints of Guinness are enjoyed around the world. And it all began in the village of Selbridge in North Kildare. In the early 1700s, Archbishop Arthur Price lived in Oakley Park in Selbridge. Richard Guinness took up employment as his household agent, and soon afterwards he married a local farmer's daughter, Elizabeth Reid, from Uachtarard, near Ardclough. She, in common with many women at that time, had the skill of brewing. Archbishop Price acquired Carberry's Malt house in the village and installed Richard and Elizabeth Guinness as tenants. It is believed that it was here that their son was born in 1725. The family tradition is that he was named Arthur after the Archbishop, who was also his godfather. In his teenage years, Arthur struck up a friendship with John Ponsonby of Bishop's Court. This friendship proved to be very useful in the years to come. When Archbishop Price died, he left Arthur £100 in his will. Now this was a huge amount at the time, the equivalent of 4 years' wages. Arthur, having learned the skill of brewing from his mother, used his inheritance to set up his first brewery in nearby Leixlip with his brother Richard. It took several years for the brewery to establish itself, but it gave Arthur the confidence to move his operation into the city. On the last day of 1759, he signed the lease on the site of a very run-down brewery in St. James's Gate in Dublin. He used his connections with John Ponsonby, who was now Speaker of the House of Commons, to secure a famous long lease of 9,000 years and free access to a water supply. Arthur Guinness was an ambitious brewer, and he had a ready market to exploit. Virtually everyone drank ale. It provided hydration, nutrition, and occasionally inebriation. A labouring man would typically drink 8 pints a day, a safer alternative to drinking the disease-infested water. There were more than 1,000 alehouses and public houses in Dublin, with 70 breweries competing for this market, but the quality of the ale was not good, and imported beer became popular. Some publicans were selling a new, strong, dark beer, which was popular with the city and dock porters in London. This had become known as porter. Arthur stopped brewing ale altogether in 1799, and from then on he brewed only porter. He imported hops from England, employed members of the Purser family who brewed porter in London, added his own secret ingredient, and greatly improved the flavour of the beer. This special ingredient, whatever it is still secret, and wherever in the world Guinness is brewed, that special ingredient has to be delivered from St. James's Gate, Dublin, to be included in the recipe. Arthur again used his friendship with John Ponsonby. He lobbied to have the tax on imported hops reduced and the tax abolished on beer sold in Dublin. Although Arthur Guinness became exceedingly wealthy, he was not one for the limelight, and there is only one portrait of the man. He had the opportunity to hear John Wesley preach in St. Patrick's Cathedral. He was greatly impressed. Under Wesley's influence and message, Guinness founded the Ministry of Sunday Schools in Ireland. He served on hospital boards, donated to charities, and sought to live a simple life despite his wealth. Guinness paid higher wages than other employers and always believed in looking after the workers, their widows, and their families. This led to an old Dublin saying, a Guinness man meant money, dead or alive. The benefits of working in Guinness even included a drink before heading home in the evening. In everything Arthur turned his hand to, he excelled. He married an heiress, Olivia Whitmore, a relation of Henry Grattan, and they had an extremely fruitful marriage. In all, poor Olivia gave birth to 21 children. They lived at Beaumont House, North Dublin, now the site of Beaumont Hospital. Arthur Guinness died in 1803 at the age of 78. He now rests near his mother's birthplace in a stone-walled churchyard on a hilltop at Oughterard, a place of outstanding natural beauty, with a view over 7 counties. He is commemorated by a life-size bronze sculpture in the heart of his native village of Selbridge, created by local artist Jarlath Daly. From Malt to Vault, Arthur's Grave Interpretive Centre in Ardclough celebrates his life and times. And Arthur's Way, a 16-kilometre heritage trail, extends from Leixlip, the scene of his first brewery, through Selbridge, where he lived for 30 years, and on to Oughterard Cemetery, where he is buried. Not one, but 2 pubs in Selbridge village, the Village Inn and the Duck, claim to share the site where Arthur Guinness was born. Where better to imbibe the perfect pint of the black stuff than in the very birthplace of the man? Take your pick of pubs or just visit them both.